Welcome to the Diary of a Pan-African Preacher. As I prepared to use as the basis of my sermon a few weeks ago the scripture, "The Word became flesh and lived among us," I could not help but think of the Republic of Cameroon. Cameroon is a snapshot of Africa. It is representative of the diversity of the continent. Nowhere is this diversity more identifiable than in its plethora of languages. Some researchers estimate that this country of 25 million people has up to 600 of the world's 7,000 languages. Languages encapsulates meaning trapped in sounds, symbols, and signs. Languages are hosts to the historical lived experiences of generations of human beings. There is an African proverb that says, "When an old person dies, a library burns to the ground." What happens when a language is lost? That must be tantamount to the destruction of a civilization. It is estimated that 90% of the world's languages are threatened with extinction by the end of the 21st century. Tied up in the languages of Cameroon are the histories, fears, and future of this exquisite piece of God's creation. Beyond the European colonial languages of French, English, and German that has made its mark on how the people perceive themselves today and their aspirations for tomorrow, is the sense of identity in the cultural retentions contained in each tribal language or dialect. Each language tells its own story from a unique perspective. It may very well be true to say that each time we lose a language, we lose a piece of what it means to be human. It is sad that with the current conflict in the Cameroon, resources are diverted to the military that could very well be used to support threatened languages such as Ngirep, Mbambe, and the Ikon, for example. There are those who don't consider it important to preserve tribal languages due to the small number of their populations or to their locality geographically. They do not appreciate when a language is lost, we lose local knowledge about medicinal secrets, ecological wisdom, weather and climate patterns, spiritual attitudes, and artistic and mythological histories. They fail to recognize that when a language is lost, there is a loss of memory of many histories and cultures. When a language is lost, we lose the accumulated local resources for combating environmental threats. When a language is lost, we lose a mother tongue, which disadvantages a people, undermines a culture, and devalues a nation. I conclude by saying that God's messages, the Word becoming flesh, are located and communicated to us in languages. If we lose these languages, how will we hear from God? The psalmist David related, "There is no speech nor language wherein God's voice is not heard. Ashe.